cars are getting ready for race 2B at Anglesey in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. And as you can probably tell, the rain has finally decided to join the party, which is going to make racing on track very exciting. Clive Powles takes pole position. To take you through the race, it's over to our commentary team.
Anglesey plus Mazda MX-5s plus the wet. Bring it on. I can't wait for this one. Clive Powles and Clive Chisnell will be on that front row of the grid from Paul Bateman, Lewis Cannon on the second row, Matt Pollard and Chris Stapleton. Then it will be Bruce Carter and Adrian Burge on the fourth row. Nick Ledoyen and Bryn Griffiths will round out the top 10. Can I just point those names out again? Powles, Chisnell, Bateman, Cannon, Pollard, Stapleton, Carter, Burge, Ledoyen and Griffiths. Plus the rain at Anglesey. This is going to be mega. McGregor, Hughes, Bartlett, Rumsey, Robinson and Denham close in behind. Then we've got Chris Ginn alongside Rich Bartlett. Then Dale Whiteman, Sam Riley, Ollie Graham and Neil McGregor. Pin back your ears and hang on to something. I hope you've got some popcorn up tap, because this is going to be an epic race. The second B group race of the weekend, and the heavens have opened here at Tycrees. So the red lights are on. And they're out. Let's race again at Anglesey on the coastal circuit, which is going to get an awful lot of rain deluge. Is that a good start from Chisnell? It's a perfect start from Chisnell. Round the outside, Clive Powles gets a bit of a hesitant one, unfortunately. So he drops down, and he is there in second place. But look at the visibility as they head into the banking for the first time. Knitting there into third position, that is Lewis Cannon, as they squiggle their way through the banking. Expect a few more sideways moments, not just because it's raining, but this is the Group B race, where a lot of drivers are still learning their Mazda MX-5 racecraft. I can't see who's in what positions. A side-by-side, that's Cannon, trying to get his way past Clive Powles, who has taken back the lead. So Clive Powles has got himself back up the order into the lead. What has happened to Clive Chisnell? Where's he gone? Is he already through? Just trying to see how far ahead he was of the rest of the field. No, Chisnell has dropped back in to third, make that fourth position as round the outside. Matt Pollard tried to make his way through into third place. So Chisnell initially leading, he just didn't seem to have any confidence in a straight line on the run to church, and that's where he dropped back to third position. Now he might even have gone down to fourth. So a much cleaner start in race 2 of Group B than we saw in the A group, because obviously in the A group we saw Ali Bray spinning his way at the hairpin there. But it's Clive Powles back in front, Lewis Cannon into second as they drop down to the bus stop in very wet conditions. So these guys are obviously going to have to play it very carefully in the first couple of laps of the race, as Nick Ledoyen just squeezes his way through with a little bit of a squirt of the brakes. That is the 17 of one of the McGregors. I think that's Andrew McGregor in that particular car, making his way through. So now they're going to get down into the banking once again. Down in through that hairpin. And it's Clive Powles from Lewis Cannon, and in third place that looks like Pollard in front of Chisnell, but it's very hard to see with all of the misty-eyed lenses as the drivers are going round. The rain is properly coming down now here at Anglesey, and these of course are convertibles, so the drivers are having a lot of hard work to keep themselves intact. And that's a spin from behind. That's Pollard. Pollard's gone around. Let's have a look. Yes, he's definitely lost that third position. I just caught it in the back of your picture. You would have just seen Pollard lose the car, but Clive Powles is still battling away here up front with Lewis Cannon. So those two have now been left on their own to duke out for the victory, but it's so greasy and so slippery and changing every single lap, so the drivers are going to have a very busy race in the office here as Clive Powles continues to run out in front of Lewis Cannon. Cannon overshoots a little bit into Peel, but not by much as they drop down the hill once again. Up towards the hairpin, through that long squeaking left-hander, although of course it's a hairpin on the long circuit. On the coastal it's just a quick left flick as they drop down through the right and down through the left into the final turn of the bus stop and back onto the main straight again. 1.55 miles this Anglesey Coastal circuit. A shame we're not using the Tom Price straight, but in these conditions I don't think the drivers mind too much. They go through turn 1. Look at the visibility on this poor camera lens. I feel very sorry for the AJK crew. Absolutely filled to the brim with water in boots, pockets, shoulders, sleeves, all sorts. They're really struggling in these conditions, but they do such an amazing job to bring us the coverage we need to bring you to show you the action in this Mazda MX-5 Championship for the Mark 1s. But Lewis Cannon still right in there with Clive Powles. You can just about make it out on the first corner lens, but Here you can see them very much battling formation. Cannon's got a good run here on Clive Poles. Is he going to make the move? Uses a bit of curb as he comes up towards him. Clive Poles putting his car right in the middle of the circuit to stop any chance Lewis Cannon might have had of coming through. So he's just getting on with it as much as he possibly can, but this is not going to be very easy. Car is still sliding around quite a lot. So he's just trying to get himself into a good frame of mind as he continues to battle away around the circuit. So the battle is still intensifying as the drivers are making sharp work of things. They're trying their best to keep the car flowing. So Lewis Cannon working hard in here behind the 18 of Clive Poles. Clive Poles just dancing around in front of his rival at the moment as they battle away for position. They come off the turn, looking for a really strong move off the final corner, and you've really got to keep your wits about you in these slippery conditions. They come up through turn 1, and Cannon's got a good run on Poles. He's going to need to keep that together. Now further back, this is the battle between Chisnell and Chris Stapleton. Stapleton's going to go the long way round and hold on to the place. So this is now the duel for third position. Stapleton, Chisnell, Ledoyen, and I think, who's that in the mix as well there? I think that is the 17 of Andrew McGregor. It is. So Andrew McGregor doing a fantastic job there and keeping himself neatly in position. They're having a good play, the McGregors here at Anglesey. They come off the turn once again. Behind him, that looked to me like Adrian Burge. The 7 is yet again in 7th place. He's got Nico Hulkenberg syndrome. How many races in a row did Hulkenberg qualify in 7th place? In Formula 1, it was a lot of them, but Adrian Burge, number 7, has got number 7 syndrome. He's there in 7th place again. So here is Andrew McGregor, tucked in behind Nick Ledoyen as they drop through the bus stop. Now you can definitely tell where the water seems to be carrying on that outside line. There's an awful lot of standing water around this Anglesey circuit, and look, the spray is starting to come up big time now. The drivers are working very hard at this stage of proceedings. They come through turn 1, still a long train of cars with a few gaps in between. So there is your man in 3rd position, Chris Stapleton, the 27, running out very well in front of Chisnell, Ledoyen and McGregor. So Nick Ledoyen hangs on to 5th position. He's got a lot of challenge there from Andrew McGregor. McGregor trying to come up the inside. He's not going to be able to get that move done because Nick Ledoyen keeps that door firmly bolted closed. Chisnell, one-time leader of this race, is still there in 4th position. He gets back on the power out of the hairpin. You've got to be so patient at that corner. It's very tough to get your move up the inside. Meanwhile, McGregor's going to make his move on Nick Ledoyen. So Nick Ledoyen has to let him go. That's a good move from Andrew McGregor. I almost said Adrian McGregor. There's so many McGregors this weekend. But it's Andrew McGregor, the 17, who is up to 5th position. Good work there from Andrew. The 60 of Nick Ledoyen slots into 6th position. They've still got Adrian Burge behind them. But this is a good run from Andrew, and he'll be very happy with this as he continues to motor his way. Now tucking onto the back of the original front row man, Clive Chisnell. So he was there alongside Clive Poles on the front row. And Clive Poles will want to get himself back into the A group. A big dive up the inside further back. Now that looked to me like a move from, trying to figure out who that would be at that point. It could be Paul Bateman that was making the move there. As we watch Bryn Griffiths battling his way around the circuit. Now who's that behind him? I think that might be Matt Pollard after his earlier incident. It is Bateman in front of Adrian Burge. Then Bryn Griffiths. So Bryn Griffiths is trying to make his way up the inside of Adrian Burge. So Burge has lost the place to the hard-charging number 42, Paul Bateman, who originally started this race in 3rd. And behind Griffiths, that is Matt Pollard, who was in 3rd position at one point before his spin at Church. And he managed to catch that very well without hitting anything or without, I think, even going off onto the grass, as Chisnell is now really having to work hard to cover McGregor. Ledoyen is behind him. They're trying to keep in touch with 3rd place. But that is not really the object of proceedings at the moment. They're just trying to hang on. As Adrian Burge keeps himself in front of Bryn Griffiths, and in behind him, Matt Pollard, the 55. In front of these 3 is the 42 of Paul Bateman. He's trying to get closer to the inside of Nick Ledoyen. Had a little bit of a look there through turn 1, actually, Paul Bateman. Might have been able to get a move done if he just kept it together. So we watch these guys battling for position. That's Andrew McGregor now having got past Clive Chisnell. A great bit of driving. Paul Bateman still in behind him. Now Nick Ledoyen. And then we've got Adrian Burge, Bryn Griffiths, and in behind it's Matt Pollard, the 55. Terrific racing as they run up the hill towards Rocket once again. Chisnell going to make a late lunge for McGregor. And that's going to leave him vulnerable to attack from Paul Bateman. Bateman up the inside. Not a lot of room to manoeuvre, but Chisnell makes sure there's enough to duel. And he holds on to the place in the hairpin. Great work from both of them. They really took an awful lot of punishment in that particular corner. So Clive Chisnell working very hard there to hang on in front of the 17. In behind the 17, but in front of the 42 of Paul Bateman. So it's McGregor, Chisnell, Bateman, Ledoyen. Now there's the 20. That is Chris Ginn. He's having a bit of a battle further back in the field as he tries to close up on... now, is that one of the Grey Trexes? No, my apologies. It's their teammate. That is the 58 of Dale Whiteman. I'm always getting him confused with the Grey Trexes because they race in the same colours, of course. But the Grey Trexes, I believe, are still, well, at least one of them, not the other. Callum Greytrex is going to go back down to the B group for race 3, but Jason will still be there for race 3 of the A, and here they come, the leaders. Poles versus Cannon. Cannon is trying to get there, but Poles has shut the door. Deep breath. Cannon tries to go to the right side. That was the smallest gap in history, and he nearly made that work. Goodness me, that was close. Now he's going to try again. Into the hairpin after Rocket, and there's a spin. Poles has lost it. Now Lewis Cannon's gone through. Now there will be a debate about that. Now, judging from the way that Cannon backed off the throttle, he did not mean to tip Poles into a spin at all, but that does not change the fact that Poles has spun around as a result of the lightest tap from Cannon, but that was not intentional from Lewis Cannon. You could see he got off the brakes, off the throttle. He wanted to make that car stop. He was trying his best not to hit Poles, and unfortunately he has got through into the lead. Now, what this does, of course, is that he has now been able to get through as a result of that incident. So he could well get a penalty for that if he at least does not give back the place. Of course, they could well decide that that was not an intentional incident. They could look at the data and see, well, he was actually trying to brake, so he tried to avoid him. And if it was only a tap, and it certainly wasn't an intentional one, then they could just decide that that was a racing incident, especially now that Poles is still there in second place. So this is Bryn Griffiths versus Matt Pollard. Behind them, they've got a bit of a challenge from the 24. So that is Oliver Graham trying to charge his way through. Oliver Graham's been a bit of a quiet one in this particular race, but he's still trying to work his magic and make his way through. He's got a long way to go if he's going to get himself up there into the top 6. He's still got the likes of McGregor, Stapleton, and Bateman in the mix there as well. So there is a long way to go, but obviously with the wet weather conditions still deteriorating around this Anglesey circuit, there's quite a lot of things that are still going to happen in this race. We've still got quite a way to go, 3 or 4 laps left of it. So that's a good 6 miles of racing. And these guys are going to continue that battle all the way through. As off the circuit, in behind Pollard, that is a bit of a trip up there for Hughes. Paul Hughes just about gets away with that one. As Oliver Graham is now going to make his bid to get past Pollard. He's going to go for the move. Will he get there? Will he get there? I'm not sure he's going to make the move. No, he's not quite able to, but there is an investigation, I am told, going on. Now, the investigation going on is actually for car 55. Now, that is Matt Pollard, the man who is racing the guy in front of us. We're looking at Paul Hughes, but the guys in front of us, one of those is the 55, Matt Pollard, battling away with Oliver Graham. Now, Pollard is being investigated for an unfair advantage at the start of the race. Now, I didn't see that. Unfortunately, he was looking too far at the front, but apparently Pollard has gained a little bit too much speed off the starting line, and that has given him an unfair advantage. Now, if he gets, I'm trying to look at the rules, the penalty he could get for that could be as much as 10 seconds. And in this field, well, that could drop him quite a long way down. I mean, he's battling around the sort of 7th, 8th, 9th position at the moment, but he could lose quite a lot more than that. Here's Stapleton in 3rd, 4th is Bateman, 5th is McGregor. Andrew McGregor is having a great time here in Group B. All 5 of these guys, Cannon, Poles, Stapleton, Bateman and McGregor, look likely to go through to the A race. And Paul Bateman getting on with the job, quietly there in 4th position, doing very proudly of himself at the moment. No major issues and no major concerns. He's just taking it nicely in his stride. Meanwhile, Andrew McGregor, the 17, is pushing on here. He wants to get a little bit more than he's got at the moment. So he's giving it the beans. Stapleton and Bateman in front of him are not going as fast as he wants to go. So basically, it's about where McGregor can catch and pass these two in front as they drop down to the bus stop once again. So Bateman taking it as nice and easy as he can through the bus stop. Caution to the winds for Andrew McGregor. He's not battling for the championship. Why should I care? Oh, a big slide out of the final turn. As now, Bateman's going to make his move up the inside of Stapleton. He gets through into third place. Good move from Bateman. Didn't even see that one coming. I wondered, did Stapleton make a mistake out of the bus stop? And that was enough for Bateman to get the move through. So next time, surely it's going to be Andrew McGregor who goes for the move as well on Stapleton. They're both going to try and make the moves to get away from Andrew McGregor. But in third, it is now Bateman. Then it is Stapleton as they continue to battle away. Lewis Cannon still your leader. Clive Poles in second. And I am told that because Lewis Cannon was definitely on the brakes, trying to stop hitting Clive Poles, I think they've judged it to be a racing incident. So they're not going to take any further action. And I have to say, that is good foresight by the officials, because this is club racing. It's not professional championship racing. It is amateur stuff. But the spirit of racing has got to be sacrosanct above all else. And if these guys are battling for position, they're dueling, and one of them comes off worse, don't just slap a penalty for the sake of slapping a penalty on. If he clearly didn't intend to make that accident happen, then he shouldn't get a penalty for it, even though he's gained the advantage. But yes, this is club racing. They're having a laugh. These two are both drivers. He hasn't lost anything, really. He hasn't gained anything except a slightly bigger trophy, because both of them still get to go through to the A race later if they stay in their current positions. So for my money, it's a racing incident. So Bateman in third, Stapleton in fourth, fifth place Andrew McGregor. And they're still duking it out, still having a terrific race. And an amazing scrap as they come off the turn. We're getting closer and closer to the closing stages, though. I think we've only got about 2 laps left of this, as the leader, Lewis Cannon, is still way out in front of Clive Poles, who recovered very quickly after that spin. But here's the battle for third. Bateman is there in third place. Stapleton fourth. Is that McGregor going to try and make a move? Not quite close enough yet. But obviously, with the rain still trickling down around the circuit, you've got to be very careful about how this race is going to play out. So in these last 2 laps, this third position slot has got to be decided. It looks like it's going to be Cannon for the win, Poles for second. And then whoever one of these 3, Bateman, Stapleton or McGregor, can come through for third position. Well, McGregor's got a fantastic run on Stapleton, down out of Church and up the back straight. He's going to take him before they even get to the braking zone. Great move from Andrew McGregor, up to P4, and there's not a lot Stapleton can do about that one. So Stapleton is now down to 5th, McGregor up to 4th, and he's 1 place off the podium. But all these 3 drivers should get through to the A group for the third and final race of the weekend if they just keep driving as they are. So back up the hill once again, up towards Peel, in through the right-hand hairpin. Nice and steady, keep it together, keep it together. So down the drop once again. Andrew McGregor just taking it nice and steady. Now he has got enough time to get back onto the tail of Bateman and duel with him for third position. So they've got to keep this nice and tidy. But as the weather keeps getting quite difficult for the drivers out there, they've got to keep their wits about them in this final lap as we go into the last lap now. And there's a yellow flag up front. Now I'm not sure who that's for. Somebody's gone for a spin. We've had 2 retirements already, Stephen Bartlett and Bruce Robinson, sadly. They're both out of the race, as Whiteman is having a battle up the road. Cannon is going to try and nip past both of them without too much difficulty. So he goes to the outside line, and they're both sporting enough to get out of Lewis Cannon's way. So well done, gents. That is, of course, Dale Whiteman having a bit of a tussle there with Richard Bartlett. Those 2 scrapping away. But this man, Lewis Cannon, has driven absolutely perfectly in this race. He's going to bring it up to Peel. He made that little error tapping Clive Poles, but I don't think either of them are going to have too much of an issue with it. They're both going to start on the same row of the grid of the A race, as long as Poles brings it home in second place. Poles is still going to be the Masters winner. Cannon is going to be the overall winner. So that's fine in the B group. Oh, nearly lost it there under the drop of the bus stop. But Lewis Cannon takes it nice and easy, takes the victory, and an absolutely brilliant run. The checkered flag flies in the rain at Anglesey, and he'll be happy with that one. He's through to the B group, no problem at all. There's Clive Poles, so he didn't even lose that much time, and both of them will go through to the A race. Andrew McGregor made his way to third on the final lap in front of Stapleton and Bateman. Graham, a brilliant fight back to 6th. Adrian Burge, Clive Chisnell, Paul Hughes and Nick Ledoyen round out the top 10. Bruce Carter in front of Matthew Pollard, Sam Riley from Rumsey, Griffiths, Denham, McGregor, Ginn, Whiteman and Bartlett. And then, of course, our final 2 who failed to finish, Bruce Robinson and Stephen Bartlett. But it's those 5 in the top 5 that go through to the A group for the third and final race of the weekend.
Back up into the A's for the final race this afternoon. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Brilliant. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there. Cheers.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, at the start it was really slippy, and then very slowly the rain was obviously giving in, and things were starting to dry up, so there was some dry lines, and it was just trying to pick through those really. But I held my best, but unfortunately when I was just tapped slightly into the corner, that was it. So it stuck me into second.
Andrew, congratulations on your podium finish. Tough racing out there, lots of close calls and close battles, particularly over those last few laps, and you've come away with some silverware.
Yeah, I was just lucky really. I think it was more mistakes in front of me than driver skill, to be honest, but I like a wet race, throws up a lot of opportunities, and used to this in Scotland, so yeah, really over the moon.